also, please put your contact information into the chat room. And if you can
Okay.
include a phone number, email address, etc., where you're located, that will very much help. Maddie, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I can. My name is Maddie. I am a business consultant or a global business developer with Solvo Global. We focus primarily on nearshore top remote talent to help businesses scale while saving on labor costs and improve efficiency while using our nearshore talent.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm glad to have you here.
Thank
Um,
you.
and you say you work globally,
Yes.
so your connections are that you have are all over the world?
So we primarily work with US based companies, but our talent, we have 21 plus countries that our talent is in. We have 55 offices around the globe.
55
Yes.
offices? Wow.
Yes. Primarily in Latin America, but also Spain, a few in Kenya, South Africa, Philippines, and India as well.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. All right. Well, it's very good to have you here. Make sure you put
Thank you.
your contact
Yes.
information into the chat room.
Okay, perfect.
So, what we do for people that have not attended one of these meetings, we record the meeting, and you see the picture of my city, welcome to my city at the bottom. That's Mehedi. He's the head of my social media. He will record this meeting and then send it out to you.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. It's you meet somebody and then you think about it and then you want to go back and watch the video again. This gives you that opportunity to really get under the hood, as they say, of the individuals that attend this meeting. So, why don't we go to Polly? Why don't you introduce
Uh,
yourself?
yeah. Hi, everyone. So my name is Dipali. I am an Indian CPA. I am also doing my US CPA, and I am working for a one investment group called Fortis Lux, and I am specialized into merger and acquisitions. So currently, I am doing the acquisitions for RIA and CPA firms. So far I did three acquisitions, and we have a big investment group. So one is like our own RIA firm, another is a brokerage firm, insurance brokerage firm, and third one is the investment group. So in investment group, we are doing the merger acquisitions. So we are looking for a practices, whomsoever they want to expand or 100% sell out. So we are looking to buy practices of CPA and RIA. So I'm handling all the merger acquisitions for them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I've got Polly in the chat room.
Yeah.
Uh, Maddie, do I see you? Oh, yeah, here you are. Here you are. Very good. All right. So, one of the things that I started doing ages ago, I've been running networking groups for 25, 30 years, at least 25 years. And one of the groups that I have is out of Arizona, or I'm sorry, is based out of California. And we routinely have around 25 people attend the meeting every single solitary week. And the reason they keep coming back is they're referring business to each other. So, it's an organized group meeting. If you would like to attend, it's run at 8 o'clock every Friday, Los Angeles time. Okay, so if you'd like to attend that one as well, be more than glad to have you.
I
Do we
definitely
need to
would.
request the
Yes.
link for that?
Yeah, they'll send. I'll have Mahedi, the welcome to my city guy. If you would like to attend that meeting, he can have that sent out. So all I have to do is say yes.
Okay.
Yes, and is that the one that is 8 o'clock tomorrow?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, because I was thinking this meeting was 8 o'clock tomorrow. I got in, was starting to mess around with my email. I sent you a message saying thank you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And then after hitting send, I see today. It's like, uh-oh.
Well, tomorrow's today, right?
Yes. So today and tomorrow. So
2 days in a row. Oh my God.
exactly. Well, we talked yesterday too, so don't
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is all good stuff. Look, at the end of the day, communication is golden. It's the most important thing that you have to do is communicate with people. The second thing you have to do is create relationships. So many years ago, I started doing referrals. That's we call these networking referral groups. And something like 90% of the people, if you ask them, how did you get my referral? How did you get to this meeting? They're going to tell you it was by referral. Somebody referred you to this group meeting, right? Maddie, how did you find this group?
I was just looking on LinkedIn for networking events, referral groups, and then this one popped up. So I tried to join, I think it was maybe last week, um, but I was in the waiting room for a little bit. So I tried to, now I'm here because I wanted to keep joining almost, I want to do like every week that you guys have it. So, because it
Very
sounds
cool.
sounds pretty good.
Very cool. So let me see. I'm on my trying to go into my LinkedIn here. Come on. There we go. And Maddie, Mattie.
Yes, my LinkedIn though is my full name. It's Madeline, Matel. It's a little bit more.
MAT. Oh, here you go. Yeah, we're a first level connection. There we go. It shows that you're based out of Phoenix. God, amazing things happen. You think about it, all this online stuff. How many years ago do you think it really started taking off?
COVID really
Yes.
accelerated everything.
What did it say again?
COVID really accelerated everything.
Oh, you bet. You
Mhm.
bet. People went from meeting face to face, which is, I used to run 30 networking groups and I used to drive around to different organizations, different locations to meet. Then when, the pandemic occurred, everybody went to Zoom. If the guy at Zoom only knew what the pandemic was going to do for him, would have blown him away, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I
Yeah,
basically went from everything face to face to almost everything being virtual.
yeah, yeah. How many of you attend face-to-face meetings now?
Sorry, my
I
Wi-Fi
still
kicked me
attend a
off.
lot face to face, but anything that's an education based, anything seminar based is almost all virtual.
Maddie, did you just say something?
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi kicked me off. Having a little bit of bad connection over here. But you mentioned in face to face like networking events.
Well, I call them networking referral meetings.
Mhm.
That's what
I recently just went to one last week actually in Tempe. I go to them pretty often because
Yeah.
they're a big part of what I do.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's nothing better than face to face, and I think
Mhm.
everybody would agree to that. But at the same time, we have to be efficient. True? So,
Very true.
Absolutely.
so you got to combine the two. Anybody have any pearls of wisdom they want to share?
It's just based on your bandwidth. I mean,
Good point.
like if you were saying that when you're driving around, every meeting that I have, if it's a 30-minute meeting, if I'm driving there, becomes an hour and a half to a 3 hour meeting as far as the time block on my calendar. So you have to prioritize which ones are worth being at in person. If it's something like this that's going to be every week, you're going to have a much higher attendance on a virtual platform than an in person. But if you were to do, let's say, a monthly breakfast or dinner meeting, then it may be something that's beneficial to do in person.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're all of you are welcome to join the Friday 8 a.m. Zoom meeting. Um, if you can raise your hand and let us know if you're interested in attending.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, all
definitely.
three of us are saying yes. Would you like us to
Yeah.
email you or LinkedIn so you
No,
can forward it?
I think
Okay,
we're connected on LinkedIn, so we can send you the invite for tomorrow's meeting. Uh,
fantastic.
Madeline, you're, uh, we can invite you.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
and, Tapali.
Yeah, I have already. I already attended couple of meetings now.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. So you
Mm.
could use the same ID
Yeah.
to come to additional meetings. But, look, one of the things we do is we go around the room. Everybody has 1 minute to speak. Tell us who you are, what you're doing. The other piece of this that's kind of interesting is we also have a speaker. We want to grow this group certainly. So would love it if you could invite other attendees. And my information should be in the chat room. Let me just check. Mehedi, do me a favor.
Yes.
No, Mehedi.
Oh,
Mehedi. Mehedi, you there?
Yes,
Can you put my contact information into the chat room?
sure.
Okay, appreciate it. Um, so are any of you familiar with BNI, Business Network International? It's the
Yes.
yes.
largest networking group in the world. There's
Hmm.
over 300,000 members. Dr. Ivan Meisner started BNI, and his psychologist was my client. I'm going back at least 25, 30 years, yeah, 30 years ago. Um, and it's a great organization. It's very specific. I remember I joined it at one point. I had to go downtown Los Angeles for 3 days of classes. So they're very detailed and very specific. How they operate now, I honestly couldn't tell you. But look, getting involved in a referral group is is a gospel, right? Each of you feel that way? So it's
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
not a matter of whether or not you should. And
Hmm.
BNI is not the cheapest organization in the world to join. They're very specific on what they demand. So has anybody here been a member in BNI?
No.
I have.
I went to a meeting a couple weeks ago to see if I wanted to join. But after I left, I wasn't sure if I wanted to join.
Well, it requires a fair amount of your time. It's not cheap, but it's
Mhm.
also not over the top in terms of expense from what I used to
Mhm.
know. And but the beauty of what BNI is it used to be very, very detailed in what you were required to do. You were required to give referrals. If you did not give referrals, they would kick you out of the group.
Yeah.
That's how specific it is. So,
Mhm.
it's a commitment, and the other Dr. Ivan Meisner had a motto of givers gain. And so one of the things that is also such a smart statement, when you meet with somebody, don't start blabbing about yourself. Ask them who they are, who they want to meet, that kind of routine, and you're going
Mhm.
to get much further down the road. That motto of givers gain means a
Yeah.
great deal. And location can mean a bunch to people, but in a Zoom world today,
Mhm.
um, who knows, right? If the owner of Zoom only knew what the pandemic was going to do for him, it would have blown him away. But yeah, each one of you, I suggest that you copy the chat room down
Mhm.
and then contact the other people in the group. What do you think of this meeting so far? I know it's a small group, but you know what? Um, it it's in a lot of respects, I think it might be better because it allows us to get under the hood of who you are. So why don't we do this now that I'm thinking about it? We're 32 minutes past the hour. Tell us in your own terminology language, what are your challenges today? I'm sure we're faced with challenges.
Mhm.
Who wants to start? Michael?
In my business, the challenge is always getting people to move. There's always the ability to have a referral. Um, I'm also a former banker, and the biggest problem you ever have is getting somebody to close their account, to open a new account. When there was a safety deposit box attached, it became almost impossible. And for me now, managing money is a very personal thing, and there's got to be a lot of trust there. So it's not transactional. So they have to feel comfortable making that move, but it requires them to actually take that step. And then when I do get clients, the next biggest hurdle, because I also, try and work my clients through estate planning, is recognizing that yes, you are going to die, things are going to happen in your life. You need to have all of this in place, but just because you put it in place doesn't mean you're going to die right now. But it does put it where let's get it out of the way and not let your family have to deal with
You bet. That is so valid. And I'll tell you a quick little story. When I was 17 or 18, something like that, a New York Life guy convinced me to get a policy. Okay. He, many, many years ago, passed away. I still have that New York Life policy. I even borrowed against my New York Life policy. And my check that I get every year is bigger than the amount that I have to pay back to New York Life for borrowing. So, yeah, start young, start young. And, you know, there's, there's one old person here and one that's not as young and two young women. We're lucky, dude.
Thanks for being gentle.
I have this philosophy, if you don't have something funny to talk about, you shouldn't be speaking. Isn't that true? Because especially in this world now, people are very, very scared. You look at the stock market, what's happening in the Dow Jones, and you look at how it's been beat up pretty badly. I think in total it's lost like 5,000 points and it's
Mhm.
hovering around 30,000 now. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah. And you
Yeah.
think it's going to get better overnight? No, it's not.
Actually, if you're young, it's not a bad thing
Oh,
because
yeah.
the market has a tendency to always recover to the point that it was at. So if you're young and you see a big decline, and especially if you've got, employer-sponsored retirement plans, put as much as you can in and don't worry about it. If you've got a situation where you need to worry about that money, make sure you've got an emergency reserve.
That's
You know,
true.
and I'll share another thought with you because I'm undoubtedly the oldest person in this room, but I'm still kicking, you know? So, I bought my very, very first home ever. I was 2 months out of college. That was 1975. And I bought my first house. I borrowed $5,000 from my dad, and he only charged me 2 points over prime. After 3 months, and I was right out of college. I was starting my first lines of work. I worked for Transamerica, then I worked for who the heck was it? Can't even remember. Um, so I knew because the interest rates were like this. They were 12, 15% interest rates, which is pretty crippling, right? So I borrowed 5,000 from my dad, and after 3 months, um, I sent him a check for $35. And he calls me up and he goes, "You SOB, that's all you're going to send me?" And I said, "Dad, you don't know how deep I had to dig to come up with that $35." Well, I paid him back in a year and a half with interest. So, it paid off. But listen, we're always transitioning in our lives. Isn't that a great statement? I just thought about that. I've never used that before. But we're going through all sorts of transitions, and I think now more than ever. Wouldn't you agree?
Mhm.
Yes.
Everybody give me thumbs up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we're not done yet. We're at the beginning of a new whatever, you know, the recession, world recession, interest rates, all that stuff. So just keep my one of my favorite expressions, just keep your eyes pointing forward. That way you won't run into walls. Pretty valid?
Yeah.
Now, will you guys think about that when you go about your daily routine? How many of you think about that on a routine basis?
I preach that to my clients because there's nothing you can do about the past. You can embrace the past and have happy memories and all of that. You can learn from the past, but you can't change it.
What what uh what precious words would you that was great what you just said, Michael. You Our lives are constantly changing, and we've had some exceptional stuff happen in our lives. What exceptional event or period influenced the rest of your life? Somebody want to share?
Hmm.
Every day has the opportunity to be a life-changing event. And it's not what happens to you in your life that establishes your character. It's how you respond to what happens to you.
Okay, so I was I enlisted in the Navy 1969, something like that. When the one year they did away with the college deferment. So I enlisted in the Navy rather than getting drafted. Okay. If I had been drafted, for sure I would have ended up in Vietnam. Well, what happened to me? I ended up in Norfolk, Virginia. I worked for a gentleman named Alexander Haig. He was the Supreme Allied Commander of the Atlantic. I was attached to NATO. Each one of you has a story that is valuable, and a lot of it deals with the past, right?
All stories of the past are history. All stories in the future are fiction.
Great statement, Michael. I love you already, man. This is great stuff. But think about, okay, the let's jump forward. Our objective is to grow this group,
Mhm.
to invite people that have a sharing capability of who they are and what they do. And if you do that, or I hate the word if, when you do that, then you will get to another level. And this group truthfully needs to grow. The group I was saying that meets tomorrow, um, we routinely have about 25 people show up. Um, is because it's called a referral, networking referral group. And some of these people have been attending that meeting for at least 10 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's a reason why groups exist, right?
Mhm.
And one of the main purposes of our group, I don't know about every group out there, is to refer business to other people. Who it is, who they know, the people in the group, and who they could refer you to. So, Mehedi, everybody,
Yes.
everybody wanted to attend, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And in your posting, it's got a link that asks us to fill some things out. Is that something we need to do, or is he automatically just taking the three of us and putting us in?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
We've got a join my city referral group, and then there's a link there, and then there's a my city questionnaire,
Question.
and that's similar to what you and I had talked about in our phone conversation yesterday. So I'm not sure whether I need to duplicate that effort.
Well, putting in writing always helps.
Okay.
Talking, and I might not pick up every piece in a discussion, but if you put it in writing, then it gives us something to anchor on to make sure that you have understanding of who you are. What I find interesting when I bring on a new client, especially when I bring on a new client, there's so many things that they're not aware of. And once that comes out, then it becomes an anchor. So, um, okay, so Maddie, the only person that's not a member of my organization
Mhm.
as a client is you. Okay.
Oh.
We're not holding it against you,
Mhm.
but we're not holding it for you either. Just a joke, just a joke. Um, and like I was saying, when I was assigned to NATO and I worked for a gentleman named Alexander Haig, who was the Supreme Allied Commander of the Atlantic, and he became I think it was Secretary of State, but he pulled something. He was a general, but he pulled something when he became Secretary of State that pissed off a lot of people, and ultimately, I think he ended up resigning as Secretary of
Yes.
State. Now I might have that a little bit confused, but it's who we are, and who we have to make up for and getting influence. I love helping people personally with their LinkedIn because it tells us, it allows me to work with somebody to get under the hood and figure out who they are and what they're doing. And, after you do something for like 25, 30 years, you think you might know what you're talking about.
It's
Michael,
always changing.
you just joined as a client the other day, so I won't hold it up. But this is the secret sauce, right? Now, here's the other question for each one of you. How do we turn your account into revenue? What is it that we have to say and do? And if it's not working, I always suggest to clients, pick up the phone and call me. I need to hear it so that I can then learn from it. Because you could take two CPAs, two financial advisors, two people in a career, and line them up against each other, and they'll all come out differently. Do you believe that?
That's my life.
That's your life?
Yes,
I love it. I love it.
Michael, are you CPA?
I am a CPA, personal financial specialist, but I do not do tax returns. I do not do audits. I do not do bookkeeping. I am strictly a wealth management and financial planning CPA. I consult with my clients basically as their personal CFO, but I do not
Okay.
act as a fractional CFO.
Okay.
So it's more of a value added service to my clients.
Yeah, because I'm looking for a CPAs now. Practice why practices?
Do
Okay,
you
well,
need a CPA for yourself or for
No,
businesses?
actually,
Because
we are into. I told you that we are
okay,
into
so you're looking to
buying.
buy.
Yeah, so our company want to invest in acquisitions of the CPA. They want to grow, so they want to set up a family office kind of setup wherein you will have a RIA and insurance and all this product, also the CPA. So we want to utilize that with the acquisitions of the CPA and RIA. So I am the one who is managing the acquisitions for them. So
Well, as I network with CPAs and other financial advisors, if anybody is interested, I will keep you in mind.
yes,
And
we are also
that's the
like
whole point of this group.
yeah, so we actually are looking for expansion also. Let's say you are practicing and you want to sell your 50% practice to buy another practice or something like that. So or you want to do expansion, we can do that also 50%.
Okay.
Or somebody wants to do exit planning, we can do the exit planning for that.
Okay. Do you have any specific RIAs or broker dealers that you've done
No,
well with?
we are looking for all over US. Only one criteria is there, like we need at least 500,000 of turnover.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the only criteria. And because I have a lot of friends, they are like Indian CPA, they are in Deloitte on big companies like a Big Four, but they have a lot of criteria to buy any CPA practices. But we don't have like that. We don't want to run that business. We will maybe hire CPA or maybe, we'll have another CPA if it is 100% acquisition, but we want to utilize that and build up a group around that with another acquisition. So let's say I had acquisition in New Jersey. So in that firm, we already bought 50% and we are merging one like business of RIA firm and also the insurance practices like whomsoever want to sell an insurance agency. So we will build up one group there in New Jersey, which having the family business kind of setup,
Okay.
family office. So anybody can offer that services.
Okay. Very good.
So
Yeah.
the interesting part of all this
Hmm.
is nobody here has met each other, right?
Yeah.
First time meeting.
Correct.
Yes.
And I would say each one of us has learned something That a valid statement?
Yeah.
Um, it's how you grow. You learn. And from
Yeah.
what we learn, then it allows you to get to the next level. And did everybody here say they wanted to come to the meeting tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We will see you.
Mahedi, did you get that?
Did
Yes, sure.
I? Oh,
You did? Okay,
Ah,
great.
I will give us join info.
yeah.
Okay, okay, we get it.
Okay.
So yeah, there he's inviting you to tomorrow's meeting.
Okay.
perfect.
So anything else that you can think of? It's 10:50 right now. Anything inspiring, anything thoughtful that you might want to add to this group meeting? And also, before we get into that, what did you, what have you, in all honesty, what did you think of this meeting today? Do you think it'll
I
help you?
think as it grows, it will become more beneficial. After seeing the meeting tomorrow, I may have a little bit more input. And I do have a question regarding what you do as far as speakers and topics that you cover, and how much of the meeting is taken by the speaker and how much of it is done with what we've been doing here.
We we give we give 10 to 15 minutes for a speaker
Okay.
to speak in the meetings. So, having, I hate to put it this way, but having some volume of people coming to these meetings will mean a great deal. And if you have any suggestions, need any help, whatever you need, we can talk about it. So what we often do, when somebody becomes a client, we will capture some of their data for them, and then all you have to do is share with us some kinds of people that you like. Now we have to build up that database because it started from scratch. But getting into the next level, how's everybody's? Here's another, not to interrupt my own self. How, how's everybody doing? Is everybody maintaining right now their growth?
Yeah.
Definitely trying to progressively grow and incline for sure.
Yeah. Michael, did you have
Yeah.
something you wanted to say?
Unfortunately for me, my job goes in spurts where you're getting referrals and you're growing, and then all of a sudden you have a situation where you seem to have a whole slew of clients that die, get divorced, etc. And so the number of clients can go down faster than they go up. And then when you have a current market like today, you have clients that panic.
Panic? Yeah. Is that what you said? Panic?
Yep,
Yep. Yeah. Well, life's a roller coaster, isn't it?
exactly.
It's going
And
up and
that's part of
down,
my
up and
job, is
down.
to explain and educate and make sure that any reactions you have are based on your personal situation, not what you're reading in the news
The old expression is damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Any of you heard that expression before?
all the time.
Okay, well, you're an older guy.
You
I
finally
don't think
admitted
You
it.
ever heard that expression? Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead?
I have not.
Okay, that was an old World War II, I think, expression about, um, especially if you're in a submarine, you you just ignore what's happening because people are shooting at you, right? So that's where that expression came up, and it's about the only way you're going to get through it is to ignore the fact that you're getting shot at. Am I saying that accurately, Michael?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, and um, with the exception of DePauli, I think most of us here, did you have parents that were in World War II or grandparents in World War II?
My grandparents, yes.
Okay. Do you remember where they were in World War II?
Um, no, I don't actually. Um, Somewhere in Europe fighting. I don't know exactly where,
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah,
Interesting.
I don't
Yeah.
know exactly where.
Yeah. My dad was in World War II
Mhm,
and he he trained guy, he was a major
mhm,
and he trained guys on gliders to crash land behind enemy lines
mhm.
for the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh wow.
80% of his platoon was killed in the first day. 80%. So it's a sacrifice that our ancestors go through to allow us to be here. That says a lot.
Yeah.
So is your any of your family members still alive that could talk
No,
about it?
no, they are not. But my parents and my grandma talk about them. They're both my granddads, but um, yeah, haven't talked about it in a while, so that's why I can't remember. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, as time goes by, it gets even more distant,
yeah,
think about it.
yeah.
So, I cherish what my dad did. I
Hmm.
cherish, and the interesting part, and here's how you might think about where we bring this to a conclusion. My dad never, ever, ever talked about World War II. Never. It was like pulling teeth. I couldn't get him to talk about it.
Yeah,
But I learned from him as a result of what sitting around the dinner table, my mom and dad would talk about some of the things that happened in World War II. And you know what? Uh, some of the most valuable learning lessons in my life was what I learned at that dinner table.
yeah.
So, all right, gang. Well, we got 3 minutes. Anybody else want to feedback some ideas?
I do have a question. So to be a part of this group, I have to like sign up. I can't just come to each of the meetings.
No, you do have to sign up.
Okay,
But
where can I do that at?
well, you can talk to me. We'll
Okay.
we'll stay on
Yeah.
afterwards and we'll talk about it. You know, I,
Okay.
I what I like to do is I like to talk about what's there's an affordability index that
Hmm.
everybody has. I don't know what that is, but I'm willing to listen.
Hmm. Is it also like BNI? Because BNI, they only allow you know, one person from each industry, so it
No,
gets a little tough, but
we
no,
don't.
okay.
But
Okay,
but
that's
if
good.
there starts to be a conflict, then we'll work it out.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's the key. Yeah, B&I, there's only one person from each industry in it.
Yeah.
And
And
like
you
I
were
said,
here first and we liked you.
say again?
I said she was here first and we like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, if you
Yeah.
don't have something funny to say, you shouldn't even be speaking. No,
But
you guys are great. I thoroughly enjoy it. Um, I used to run 30 networking groups, by the way, and I used to
well,
drive to them. It was prior to COVID, prior to Zoom. If the
mhm,
guy that started Zoom ever knew the opportunity he was going to be handed,
mhm.
would have blown him away.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a multi-millionaire at this point. But listen, we all learn new things
Mhm.
and never stop learning. That's the key. So my favorite expression, your mind is a muscle. And if you're not exercising it, it will atrophy like the rest of your muscles do. Right?
Mhm.
Is that a great statement or what?
It's very true.
Yeah.
All right, gang.
Okay.
Maddie, you want to stay on and then DePauli?
I was just going to say, can I join so tomorrow's meeting at 8 a.m. Can I join that, see how that goes, and we can talk after that one as
Oh,
well?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
You gotta get the gut feel of it.
Yes, because
And
there'll
it'll
be more people on that one as well. So.
and it'll also teach you what we need to do in this group because we are
Mhm.
an Arizona-based group.
Right.
Let's learn from it.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right,
Well, that
gang.
sounds good.
See you. See you
All right.
tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
guys. Everybody have a
Thank
great week.
you.
Yeah. You too.
Got
Bye,
it.
everybody.
Thank you, Bob. Bye.
Hey, my pleasure. It was great. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I talk too much.
Thank you.
But